Hallo und willkommen zu Silvia's Kitchen. Yalla! Anyway, today we're going to make Marmorkuchen. That's marble cake. And Marmorkuchen is a total staple of German baking. Every Hausfrau has made it, knows how to make it, and if you ever have any surprise guests coming over in the afternoon for coffee and like, oh my god, I don't have anything to go with the coffee, no cake or danishes or anything, as long as you have some flour and enough eggs and some butter, you're good to go. Every Hausfrau should have that in her house at all times anyway. So that also brings me to German coffee culture. Because Germans do coffee and cake in the afternoon. It's called Kaffee und Kuchen. You may have heard of Kaffeezeit. Well, it's the German equivalent to afternoon coffee, afternoon tea, of course, and scones is that the British do. So anyway, Marmorkuchen is a big part of that. You know that saying, it's as American as apple pie? Well, it's as German as Marmorkuchen. So let's get started. Alright, so before we start mixing this, since it's relatively fast cake, let's not forget to preheat the oven. I already converted the temperatures. It's between 175 and 200 Celsius, and that equals to 347 to 392 Fahrenheit. So we're going to put it in the middle at 375. Preheating, boom. Then we start with 300 grams of butter. I try to use really good butter. If you can get your hands on some German butter at the store, you can use that, but it's a little expensive. So I usually use a very, very good alternative. Irish butter is just as good. This package here is 273 grams. By the way, make sure you leave it out at least a couple of hours or so before you bake, so it's nice and soft. And you just put that in your mixing bowl. The first thing we do is we actually whip the butter for about 30 seconds. And then we're going to slowly add the sugar. The sugar is 275 grams. That comes out to about 1 1/3 cup of sugar. And we add this one by one. And then we add a packet of vanilla sugar. You can also get that at the German store, or you can order it online. There is at least a couple of German stores online. I've ordered from them as well. They deliver to the US. So vanilla sugar, any kind is good. And we also add, this is a rum aroma. I guess if you don't have it, you could probably put a little bit of a sip of rum in there. Again, from your German deli, German store, or also from online. That already smells really good. And we'll do a good pinch of salt. Alright, and then we'll just mix it some more. And now we add the 5 eggs. But again, we add 1 egg after the other, okay? So every egg should be beaten in for about a half a minute before you add the next egg. Now the next thing that we add is 375 grams of flour. I like to order the good German flour on the internet, but it's not necessary. You can use any American flour, white flour, good baking flour that you can find. And we're going to put it through a sieve first in order to get all the little clumps out. And before we put that all in there, we are going to add baking powder. Now this recipe calls for approximately 4 teaspoons of baking powder. Again, I used a really good German kind. I think some friends brought it for me from Germany. You can order it online or get it at your German deli. So I can probably put it all in. That's approximately 4 teaspoons. And then we make sure that we get it in there nicely without any clumps. Might take you a little while. We put it in a separate bowl. Why? Because you're going to slowly add the flour spoon by spoon to your batter. You're not going to put it in there all at once. All right, so we got that. I also have 3 tablespoons of milk, which you only add as much as you need so that your batter is still gonna fall off your spoon really nicely later. All right, we'll start with 1, and the rest is just mixing. Let's go for it. I think that's good. So 1 more little test here. You see it falls off, but slowly. That's perfect consistency right there. I've already prepared a bundt cake pan. This is a German bundt cake pan. I was lucky enough for my friends to give this to me. It's super cool because it opens up and you can take this up later after it's baked. And so you can get your cake out much, much easier. So basically, all right, a little bit more, I think. 2/3 of the batter, I guess, is better than saying dough. Yeah, that's probably enough. Sorry, but this is already good. And then we'll use a spoon and we'll just even it out in the pan here. Now we're going to add chocolate. It calls for 20 grams cacao. You can use any old cacao you can find that you like. And that's approximately 3 tablespoons. And I'm actually also, if it's a little bit clumpy, I'll just also put it through a sieve. And then you have to add a little bit more sugar, and that's about the same amount as the cacao, about 3 tablespoons. All right. And we'll do a little bit more mixing. All right, so now it's all mixed in. The chocolate is nicely in there. We'll do the same taste test. Not taste, but it falls off kind of heavy off the ladle, and that's exactly the consistency we want. Now we put the chocolate batter on top of the white batter. And then we just also layer it on top. Use a fork. Here, we'll move this out of the way. And then you're gonna stick that in there and you will swirl the chocolate a little under the white part of the batter. And that's what gives it the marble effect. That's why it's called marble cake. And once you think you've swirled enough, we're just going to go back and kind of even out the top. Perfect. I think we got it nicely. Now the only thing left to do, before we put it in the oven, we clean off the top a little bit so we don't have, because I didn't do that very nicely, but we don't want it to burn. So we just wipe it a little bit. All right, put it usually in the middle rack. So let's move it in there. Ooh. Yeah, that's nice and hot. And our oven is ring-a-ding-dinging, so we have to do the test. Turn off the timer for now. We're going to use usually either a toothpick, but this is a deeper cake, so I'm going to use a shish kebab stick. We'll take it out, and we're going to insert that carefully into our dough. Push it down, pull it out. Nothing is here, which means the cake is done. And this is what I love about this pan. You can just open. I want to make sure that the sides are nice and loose, so nothing will crumble. It should be good. And we're going to open this carefully and see how beautiful it just comes off like that. Baby, look at this, Mama! We are using this Kuchen glasur. It is chocolate in a pouch. You immerse that in what we call a Wasserbad, or a hot water bath, for 10 minutes. So setting the timer again, and that will melt the chocolate in the package. Super easy. And I'll be back in 10. Okay, and I'm gonna try and get that on this pretty cake stand. And because this is like wire, I don't want to push it over because it might destroy the Marmorkuchen. So we're gonna flippity floppity over it again. One. And then we're gonna do the flippity floppity with the pretty cake stand. Oh boy. That's not as easy as it looks. And it doesn't even look easy. Okay, let me make sure. Got my whole hand underneath this. We did it! Thank you! So in the meantime, our chocolate is pretty much molten. The 10 minutes are pretty much up. So we're gonna take it out. Before we do anything, we have to dry it off. We need it, all right? And I'm only using the towel because it's hot. So you're kneading it through really good. And you should do this after your cake is already cooled down. And this is gotta be messy, guys. Get ready for it. We're gonna pour the chocolate over. And by the way, traditional marble cake usually just gets powdered sugar sifted on top. But we're gonna do a little something more special. And we're gonna put the chocolate over it. Yum, yum. Alrighty, very carefully. A few different tools here. That works really well. That little angled spatula. There's a name for it too, but I don't know it. Oh, offset spatula. That's what it's called. Oui. And then we can get it inside as well. Alrighty, et voila! There's our Marmorkuchen. Oh, it makes me so excited. I want to yodel. Yodel!